Hey there, cozy babe, and welcome back to the most cozy, autumnal, vibey corner of the internet. My name is Chloe Taylor, and today we are going to be taking a look at the next 6 months. These 6 months are for you. And I'm not exactly sure what the message is that's going to come through completely. I don't know if it's going to be like practical advice. I don't know if it's going to be spiritual advice. We are just going to let your guides pour through me, and we are going to get to the bottom of what exactly these next 6 months have in store for you and how they're going to be about you. So if you don't know how this works, allow me to give you a brief explanation. If you already know how it works, you can head to the timestamps and select your pile. But if you don't know how this works, basically, you're going to choose one of these 4 piles. So pile number 1, we have the day you plant the seed with a smoky quartz crystal. I'll show it to you as well. Smoky quartz. Pile number 2, we have claim your energy with a piece of clear quartz. Pile number 3, we have the journey with a piece of pyrite. And pile number 4, we have multiple streams with a honeyed calcite or a honey calcite. So you're going to select, you could select one of these, 2 of these, 3 of these, the whole 4 reading spread. It is completely up to you. There, you can go by the crystal, the card. You can go by one of the symbols that's also on the screen that I have selected for you. So you can see which symbol goes with which card here, but you can go by the symbol, the crystal, the card. You can also look in the timestamps and see if there's a lucky number present there for you. That's often how I select readings if I watch somebody's pick a card, but feel free to do it any way that feels right to you. Maybe from the thumbnail, you knew which reading you wanted to select. So just know that you're never going to choose wrong. And if you feel resistance to any of the piles, I would also encourage you to choose that pile, because oftentimes if there is resistance, it's because there's actually a really important message that you need to hear that maybe you've been in resistance to. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a brief moment to make a selection, and then we're going to get into it starting from pile number 1 here. Oh my goddess, pile number 1. I'm so excited. So if you chose the smoky quartz, this is going to be your reading. And we're going to start with these first 3 oracle cards that I have for you. We got a lot of cards, as you can see, to go through for your reading. I really went all out for this one. But we first have that initial card, the day you plant the seed, which this is all about right now and over the next 6 months. You need to first work on planting seeds that are going to nourish you. So this doesn't mean like literal crops unless you're into gardening, but the day you plant the seed isn't the day that you receive the harvest. And I'm just going to say it. I give grounded and practical information. I'm a Taurus, so all of my stuff when I am reading, it is very practical most of the time. I'm just going to say it for everybody in the back. This current reality is built on instant gratification, and it makes sense, right? Many of us, especially like the people that watch my videos, if you're in the millennial age bracket, some of you are also zillennials or Gen Z. There are some of you that are also older, but the major of you are millennials. I can see that in my statistics. But the thing is, in today's reality, most of us were brought up with the notion that if you worked really hard for something, you would be rewarded, right? You'd be able to afford a house and a car and 2.5 kids. And if you just followed this specific thing. And what millennials have been shown is that the paradigm from which we were given actually doesn't work. We're not making the same amount that our parents were making based on how high the housing market is. And what that has taught our entire generation is that long-term gratification doesn't work. We're literally taught that long-term gratification doesn't work, and it's not a healthy way to live, having that in your like psyche, right? It's something that all of us have to work to heal from, because long-term gratification does work. However, especially in the age of technology, we're also taught that instant gratification is something we should all just have. And there's also a lot of excess and consumerism, and don't even get me started. Okay. My point is, it's really important for you over these next 6 months to reteach yourself that long-term gratification does exist. And in any way that you can, it doesn't have to be academically or career-wise or moving towards home owning. I mean, if those are things that you want, yes, work towards that goal. But even just in the day-to-day things, if you want better physical fitness, the first day you work out and eat a salad isn't going to generate those same results. If you want more money, most likely the day that you come up with the idea isn't the day that it's completed, put out there, and you make millions. Okay. So you have to be prepared that the journey you're going on over the next 6 months, it's not going to be one of instant gratification. You're going to have to find ways to stay on the path and on the journey despite not receiving everything the day you plant the seed. And if you want to know more about this, I would love to make a podcast for y'all on that topic because I think I have a really good handle on that. But the next thing is time to move on. Okay. Over the next 6 months, especially right now, obviously this reading is timeless. So if you come across it in a few years, this information might not be super relevant. But right now, we are dealing with eclipse cycles that are changing our relationship dynamics. We have the eclipses in Aries and Libra for the next year. And this is actually making us prioritize ourselves and our own energy versus always prioritizing everyone else. It's actually kind of like us getting in our selfish era, but in a good way, like taking care and filling our own cup first before trying to fill everyone else. But the thing is, while this is happening, your relationships are going to shift. This is happening to everyone. Don't be surprised if you end relationships, romantic ones, friendship ones, family relationships. Relationships are going through a major transformation for everyone. And it will hit a specific area of your chart as well. And if you want more on that information, I encourage you to follow my Patreon because I talk about this stuff every single month over there. But there is either someone or something or a habit that you have been really attached to that it's time for you over these 6 months. I mean, honestly, I would say today it's time to start detaching because let's say that even in like a friendship basis or a romantic partnership, if there is someone that every time you spend time with them, you wish that you hadn't, or you feel some type of way after you've spent time together, this is a clear indication that that relationship probably is not one that is serving you anymore. And it doesn't matter how long you've been in a relationship, how long you've been friends. Don't get me wrong. I don't think like every relationship is meant to just dissipate. Like no nuance, Nelly, have some nuance. But if you notice this time and time and time again, maybe your energies just aren't matching anymore, and it's okay to let go. It's okay to put some space, especially if you notice that when they're not in your life or around, if you put some space, you feel better. That is a huge indicator that it's time to move on from this person or these people or these habits. It's no matter what it is. It could even be like your car costs you more money than it's worth and it's constantly putting you in a hole every month. This could be a sign that maybe you need to downsize your vehicle. It's okay to make those moves. But ultimately, right now, there is something you need to move on from, and don't drag it on because you don't need this to last all 6 months. Then we also have the card of beauty sleep. Your sleep needs to be a huge priority for you right now. Like, first of all, if you're somebody that struggles with your sleep, I know some people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but as somebody that has struggled with insomnia, panic attacks, hasn't been able to sleep at night multiple times in my life, and I have fully overcome those things. Granted, some of y'all might need something different and it might not work for you. I'm just going to give you my examples and my suggestions from my own experience because that's all I can do. But please know that like maybe also seeking medical help would be beneficial to you, and there might be a different path for you. However, if you've never tried some of these things, I encourage you. Number one, you have to stop talking about it like you're never going to fix it. This is actually something that will, no matter what it is in your life, if you want to be successful at something, you have to change your relationship and your mindset with it first. So if you're constantly every night coming at sleep with this attitude of it's going to be terrible, it will be. Like, Facts. It will be. You have to start to shift your mindset. And I know, genuinely, I know how hard it is when you keep having this experience over and over again. It's really hard to get yourself to think differently, but you can. It's literally, I think it's Mimi Bouchard who says this, and I fully have used it in my own life and seen the results. The amount that you will succeed in your lifetime, you can tell based off of what your bounce back rate is. So basically that's what like separates people, successful people from unsuccessful people, is when you get off track or off your goal, how quickly do you bounce back? That's it. That's the only thing you need to know. So when you start to have those limiting thoughts about sleep, how quickly can you talk yourself off that ledge and go, actually, you know what? We're making it different now. This is day 0. We're making it different now. Also, set yourself up for success. Cut back on caffeine. Allow yourself to be in a comfortable, soothing environment at night. Don't go to bed with your phone. Read a book. I so encourage that one. That one changed my life tenfold. It's always these like simple things that people are like, that won't work for me. And then they don't try it. But then when you actually try it, you're mad at yourself because it does actually work. I've experienced that too. And also, please check with a medical health professional before just putting a supplement into your body. I highly encourage magnesium glycinate though. That has changed the game for my sleeping routine, and specifically glycinate, not citrate, not magnesium glycinate. It's not that it just helps me gently go to sleep, but there's no side effects for me and I stay asleep. So just some suggestions, because if you're not sleeping, it's wreaking havoc on your entire system. Like your body needs that recovery time in order to thrive. So I feel like for you, these next 6 months, it's going to be really about up-leveling your mindset, up-leveling who you're spending your time around, and also up-leveling your sleep routine specifically. These are going to make the biggest impact. Now, let's keep going. So we also have the card of grace for you. And it says, grace, blessings come to me to set me free. Also, I apologize if you can hear any lawn mowing in the back. I love how when I want to record, suddenly my neighborhood isn't dead silent. So rude. But I do feel like maybe I just need to also add this to your reading. In general, you do need to give yourself some grace. I feel like if you're coming at my reading and you're feeling super judged or upset or triggered, first of all, sit with that trigger and ask why and work through it. But also, these readings aren't meant ever to be something that is meant to unseat you and make you freak out. If you're freaking out, I'm probably not the right reader for you. Grace is so important when you are making changes like this, because not every day is going to be perfect. There is not one person on the face of the planet that has a perfect day. No one. And you got all these social media influencers out here telling you like, oh, my day is so perfect. I have my bone broth and I drink my matcha and I go to Pilates and I do my skincare and my day is just like so wonderful and I never have a bad day. Not true. Every single person on the face of the planet does not experience perfection. The goal is not perfection. The goal is just to, again, hit that bounce back rate. When you feel like you're getting off track in your day, what are the things that are going to help you to bounce back? Give yourself some grace in the process. You're not going to be perfect every single day. Okay, then we also have study. This is so important, pile number 1. Okay, you're in your learning girl era, and I love this for you. Over the next 6 months, your consciousness is going to be expanding tenfold. Your guides are telling me, because I'm getting the chills, actually, like full body chills. You are in a place in your life where you are ready for new information. You are ready to stop being your own worst enemy, and you are ready to let go of victimhood. And the reason that I know is because when you're ready to be open to other solutions that you've never thought of before, this is how you know that you're ready to make a major shift in your life. And so studying, some of y'all might just be getting into some kind of something new academically, but I think for the bulk of you, what I'm really hearing is you're going to start studying basically people that have done what you're trying to do, whether it's like buying their books or listening to their podcasts, or you are literally willing to sit and learn something new because you're tired of the results that you've been getting. And this is the next 6 months are so for you, bestie. I am so, okay, pardon my French, but I'm like so fucking excited for you. Like this is getting me like giddy in my giddy energy. Especially because like we love a bitch that like lines up her pencils, her notebooks, and sits down with her little highlighters and is like, yes, give me the knowledge so that I can make the changes. So be open to books, podcasts, anything that is suggested to you at this time in terms of like transformational content. Okay. Be open to actually looking at it, especially books, because this card does have like a study book going on here. So especially books, podcasts, YouTube videos, anything that you need in order to access that like student energy, because over the next 6 months, it's going to improve your life tenfold, I'm hearing. Okay, next we have the 7th house of partner. So this is really interesting because I said specifically in your reading, I talked to you about how the North and South node are crossing Aries and Libra, and it's all about relationships. It's about your relationship with yourself versus relationships with others. And the 7th house of partnerships literally is the Libra house, and Libra is what the South node is touching. So the 7th house of partners, this could be, some of y'all are actually calling in like a dream partner. Some of y'all are calling in someone. Some of y'all are also like, what I'm hearing is like your relationships are improving because the more energy you're pouring into yourself, it sounds counterproductive, but I swear that's how it works. Even in my own relationship of like 16 years, this is absolutely how it works. The minute you start pouring your good energy into yourself and not them, if you feel like things have not been going well, that is like the minute that the switch flips and they're like, wait, where did your energy go? I want that back. How can I get that back? And they start to chase you. They start to make possibly even changes that you've been asking for because they're noticing that you're changing. And this is also how you'll know if you're in a relationship that is worth saving. If they're not willing to make changes while you're evolving and like becoming more of themselves as well as more of who you want to see in the relationship, you'll know real fast if you're not with a partner that wants to grow with you. And I would also just say to any of my girlies out there that are like, but I don't want to lose them, him or her, or whoever, my girlies that are out there that are struggling with that, I just want you to know, like, why would you want to settle on a partner that isn't going to give you the world? I promise you, there is somebody out there for you that will give you everything that you desire and then some. Like, they will go the extra mile. Like, there is some hard medicine coming through spirit right now for you that is telling me to remind you that, like, obviously, please remember to have nuance, but I'm just going to give you exactly what the channel's saying. Some of y'all got some rowdy ancestors, but not only why would you want to settle for somebody who isn't willing to grow with you, but also why be with someone that isn't sure about you? Why be with someone that isn't, and this goes on friendships too. Why be with someone that isn't sure about you? And your life will improve the minute you decide to bet on yourself instead of putting all of your validation and, like, I get it. Okay. A lot of us have abandonment wounds. Okay. A lot of us grew up in the 90s. Like, a lot of us have abandonment wounds, but I promise you, there is someone out there that wants to give to you the way you want to receive. There is somebody that wants to be loved the way that you would love them. And don't waste your time on some woman's dusty fucking son or daughter, okay? Don't do it. I don't know who needs to hear it, but do not waste your time. There is so much. You get one life. You get one life. And this is that, like, okay, we can get into like past lives and maybe you'll have a future life, but this current version of you is the only version of you that you will have in this lifetime. don't waste your time for another minute with somebody who isn't willing to bet on you, who doesn't see you as an investment to their life, who doesn't treat you the way that you've been begging and asking to be treated. It's time to no longer ask and no longer beg, and to turn that energy back on yourself and move the fuck on. Because especially because you got the move on card, some of y'all, I'm just saying it, you're going for breakup city. And I honestly think it's a good thing. You don't see it as a good thing right now, but you will. And those of you that are in healthy partnerships, this could also be that your relationship is, sorry, loud car going by. This could also be that your relationships are improving. Like, look how close these two people are. Your relationships are improving. They're getting better. You're dating your partner again, and it feels good. But I honestly think that for a lot of you, the relationship is built on sand. It's not built on a rock, and it never was built on a rock. And the entire foundation has to fall apart, and there's no saving it. There's no saving it. Okay, we also have Moon Soul. So I do feel that the next 6 months of your life are going to be some that are a little bit more emotional. This is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. There's a lot of unprocessed emotions that you've been holding. And in order for you to make it through and to feel better and to start harvesting what you want, you are going to have to let those emotions pour through you. The only way out is through. And I also feel like with the moon, this is a call for you over the next 6 months to also maybe get more into like understanding moonology, which if you want more of that, let me know down below. I've been considering putting together a like moon masterclass of some kind for y'all, because it's something that has foundationally changed my life working with lunar cycles. Genuinely, I've manifested most of my life using lunar cycles. So if y'all want that, let me know. And then we have the 4th house of roots. So here's the thing. You're working on yourself from a foundational level. So everything that is not in alignment with you has to go. And you're ready to root down and actually start to build your life on something really solid. And this is a beautiful thing. Oftentimes when we manifest, we think that we're bending the universe to our will. But the reality of the situation is that the universe is bending us to its will. And we're meeting and co-creating with the universe. And I feel like for you, you're finally at this tipping point in your life where you are so ready to root down, to have a solid foundation. And in order to do that, there are just some changes that have to be made. And this is going to be such an intense, like positively intense 6 months. After these 6 months, you are going to feel so good about yourself, your prospects, and where you're going. Okay, now we have some tarot cards to take a look-see at. So we have, first of all, the reverse King of Pentacles, which this to me is a reflection. I'm just going to be real with you. This is a reflection to me of the people that you keep in your life. This is what needs to go, because this is somebody that drains your bank account. Like, they also rely on you possibly financially, and it doesn't make you feel like you're in your King of Pentacles era. You are like paying for things that you shouldn't be, or there's definitely something about like your finances being drained, and it's what's causing a lot of these shifts. The thing is, this is something that can be removed. So it's not something that like defines the course of your life. Okay. It's something that can be removed. Then we have Dark Veil reversed. Ooh, I had the chills for you again, pile number 1. The truth is out. There is nothing that is hidden from you. You have all of the information you need. People's actions around you are speaking a lot louder, and you need to listen to those things. People's actions are speaking, and there's nothing hidden from you. There is no truth that you haven't uncovered. I think you're honestly kind of willing to wait in uncertainty because you're scared of the truth of the situation. But Spirit is ultimately saying that all truths have been revealed. You have every puzzle piece that you need to understand the situation, and you need to start relying more on your intuition. Okay, we also have the 4 of Swords reversed. This is not a time, these next 6 months are not a time for rest. The Four of Swords, normally it talks about like rest and recuperation. You have done a lot of that in your life. And if you haven't, this isn't your pile and you need to go choose again. Or like maybe there were just other messages that you needed from this pile, because you're someone that has done a lot of resting. I'm hearing because you allow your emotions to like rule your day. And don't get me wrong, I think this can be a really beautiful thing while you're like recovering, and you are having like a lot of feelings with this moon card showing up. But there comes a time where like we need both. There has to be balance. There's nothing wrong with allowing yourself to feel how you feel, being gentle with yourself. But don't you want to feel activated? Don't you want, not activated in like a negative way, but like, don't you want to feel that inner drive and that inner pulse and that inner creativity, that inner fire? Sometimes you do need rest and recuperation to get it. But ultimately, the Four of Swords reverse tells me that you've been relying a little bit too heavily on rest, and there hasn't been enough forward momentum. That doesn't mean do everything all at once. Listen to this past week's podcast episode if you need help with this. I talked all about the 4 different kinds of routines that will actually help you. And like, especially if you're somebody that's coming from a really rested state, that's a video that will really help you. But the Four of Swords here says to me that you're not in your resting girl era. Okay. It's time to like boss up. It's time to put a lot of intentional, focused energy into yourself, and honestly, be a little selfish. Then we have Divine Wisdom reversed. I'm telling you, Juice, you are literally going to be getting so many downloads. You are going to be getting so much spiritual wisdom. You are ready to study so much spiritual wisdom, and like divine is going to be pouring through you over these next 6 months. Your intuition is lit the F up. Okay. You have like turned on like a light. And then we have, oh, look, this is precious. So precious. We have the 10 of Cups for you. This is like the outcome of these 6 months. You are literally going to be so mother effing blissed out. Your home life is going to make sense. Your relationships are going to make sense. Your career is going to make sense. Like the 10 of Cups is reaching ultimate fulfillment and recognizing that you are living your highest timeline and your highest potential. So in these next 6 months, you may not see it right this minute. I'm telling you, this is what you will see if you're willing to put in the hard work now. Okay, now I do have some self-care cards for you as well as a journal prompt. But before we get into that, I do just want to take a moment to shameless self-plug myself. First of all, if you're not supporting me on Patreon, I still love you, but what are you doing with your life? I have astrology predictions there, vlogs there. We have such a wonderful Patreon community. I love what I get to create there. And it is because of Patreon that I am able to make content the way that I do here for free on YouTube. Because without that, like, girl, I would not be eating. Okay. My Patreon really supports me. So please check it out if you are considering supporting me as a creative. And also you get like a lot of awesome content. There's over 400 pieces of content already there that you immediately get access to when you join. So check that out. I also have for you a couple of courses if you want to check them out. I have Authentically Aligned, which is a 4-week course that leads you through basically like this. I think every pile would benefit honestly from that course. If you're putting in like work on yourself, it will help you to really get clear on your life. And I also have my Vision Board to Destiny course. Literally, if you are looking for the end all be all manifestation method, I have proof in the masterclass, and there's a workbook that will literally step by step guide you through everything, as well as like a video visual on what to do and how to do it. It is my foolproof method. I use it in my life all the time. Every time I do a vision board, it is what I am doing. It is how I have gotten my waterfront home. It is how I have made a successful business. It is how I have achieved internet popularity. Like everything that I have ever wanted, I have been able to manifest because of that. So check that out if you're looking for that in your life. And of course, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Kloee Taylor, as well as Threads. I have the blue check mark. I will never DM you for a private reading. I don't do that on Instagram. If you want to book a private reading with me, you have to do so at KhloeTaylor.com. So that's where my courses are as well. But anyways, thank you so much for allowing me to talk about myself a little bit. Now let's get into the rest of your reading. So we have for you some self-care, what you need to invest your time into right now over these next 6 months is looking at the stars. So this could be actually just spending more time outside at night, which will actually hone your intuition. I don't care what anybody says. Spending time with the moon and the stars, it will make you a more intuitive person, period. But also, I feel like this is getting into like astrology and learning about astrology. I do have a masterclass on my Patreon if you're interested in that. That's like, you can get it through the Patreon, but it's really awesome. And I walk you through how to like understand your transits. But look at the stars, understanding your astrology. You can get your chart for free as well. There are like websites where you can plug your information in and get your chart. You can also book me for a chart reading if you feel called to do so. But looking at the stars is like the self-care that you need, not just like studying, but also spending time with the stars. And then lastly, for your journal prompts, I want you to ask yourself, you can also just ask, like, if you don't feel like writing it down, that's okay. Ask yourself, what is my weakness? What is my weakness? Gosh, what is my weakness? I always like to answer these to like give y'all ideas on how to start with yourself. Obviously go with what came to mind for you, but like, gosh, I feel like my weakness, Papa Roach said it best, okay? My weakness is that I care too much and our scars remind us. Oh my gosh, I am showing my true colors here. But no, I honestly think that my weakness probably is my tendency to like, if I want to confront somebody, I have such a hard time because I think about how they're going to take it and I never want to hurt somebody's feelings. And it just like, especially somebody like that's close to me, I value honesty so much, but I struggle not with being honest. I can be honest, but I struggle when it comes to like criticism and dishing criticism to people in my life when they need to hear it. I really struggle with it. You can tell that I'm really close to someone if I'm able to give them criticism because I feel like it's valuable. You should be able to tell like the people in your life something that isn't working for them. Like honestly, sometimes we need our friends to reflect that at us, right? But I feel like that's a big weakness for me. I tend to like just really kind of shut down and pretend that everything's okay. And I'm really working on it. I've been so good about my boundaries lately, y'all. I've been really upholding them. I could probably think of more things, but I'm going to leave it there. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I love all of this for you. These next 6 months are for you, okay? They are for you. And I'm so excited for you. And I love you. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you on Sunday for the podcast. All right. Bye. All right, pile number 2, if you chose the clear quartz, this is going to be your reading. So we first have, I'm going to go over just these first oracle cards, but as you can tell, we have a lot more cards to go through for you. So first and foremost, we have the Claim Your Energy card. And this card is all about asking yourself where you keep giving your energy away and reminding yourself like, is the energy, like, why do you give it away, basically? Because sometimes we get so used to being givers in our lives that we forget that we have to have some for us. We have to have energy for us too. And I think one of my favorite analogies about giving energy is you're not supposed to fill up your own cup and then start pouring from it. You are supposed to fill your cup and then have a smaller cup under that cup that catches the overflow. And then you are meant to fill other people's cup from your overflow, not from your actual well. And that's just like good energy practice in general. But claiming your energy, this is about taking some time and some space for you. So this could be not hanging out with friends for a few weeks that maybe you give too much to them, or family. It's about literally reclaiming your time for yourself and really analyzing where you give your energy away and why you give it away, especially if you tend to fall into like people pleasing. I do feel like over the next 6 months, you might actually be going a little bit into like, I don't want to say hermit mode, but just like stepping back and pouring energy into yourself again. So this could be, like I said, literally setting boundaries and tell people in your life, hey, I'm taking some time for me right now, or I'm whatever it is that you're working on. It might be time for you. It might be time for your career. I know for myself, if this gives you any confidence or like help to hear somebody else that does it, say it. Recently, I told a group of my friends, hey, I'm really focusing right now on regaining consistency on my YouTube channel. And it's something that I haven't had for a really long time. And it's going to take me time to get that figured out. And while I'm in this process, doing this work, reformulating, I need y'all to like know that I'm not just going to be around all the time. And it was a little rough, I think, in the transition, but I think the people in my life that love me and respect me have really held me in that. And it's been good for me, extremely good for me. In fact, I'm like happier than I have been in probably the last like year and a half. So claiming your energy over the next 6 months is going to be really important. The ship has sailed, bestie. Over the next 6 months, it might even happen sooner than later. And like the sooner you recognize it, the better. There is something in your life that you keep putting energy into. It could be like, honestly, I'm hearing for some of you, it could be a relationship that like, gosh, pile number 1 got something about a breakup as well. But it might even be just like somebody that you were never even in a relationship with, but you've kind of chased them. The ship has sailed. You need to let it go and move on. But also even chasing opportunities or chasing things that aren't in alignment with you anymore. The ship has sailed ultimately, and it's time to move on and let go. And then we have tell it like it is. Ooh, we love a baddie. We love a queen who uses her voice, opens that throat chakra, and tells a bitch what they maybe don't want to hear, but need to hear. Okay? You're my people. Tell it like it is. This is giving, oh gosh, my friend sent me something so funny that I feel like goes in tandem with this, where it's like, the thing about me is I stand on what I say. And if you don't like it, or like if you ask me what did I say, like I will ask you to hand me a microphone so I can say it again but louder. Like it just, telling it like it is literally getting into the energy of like, you don't have time and space to be beating around the bush anymore. You are telling people what you need. You are having appropriate boundaries. You are having the hard conversations because you don't have time to not do that anymore. And honestly, I love this for you. I feel like this era, these next 6 months for you, they are very, very, very self-focused. They are very intentional about where you want to put your time and your energy and the kinds of boundaries you want to enact with others in your life. Now, let's keep going. We got lots of cards, my friend. Okay, so next we have the card of love. And this says, Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. So I do feel pile number 2, if you're someone that has been wanting a relationship rooted in more love, you're going to get that over these next 6 months. You're going to realize that you are your own first love. And if there's someone in your life that isn't treating you that way, especially with this, the ship has sailed, maybe at one time the relationship was good. Some of y'all were never even in a relationship, but those of you that are, at one time the relationship was good, but it hasn't been good for many years. And it's actually time to start pouring all the energy you would have poured into them, into yourself, to call in new love. And that might mean that you're not ready necessarily for someone brand new right away. But as you set forth the energy of how you want to be loved and adored, the universe will have no choice but to meet you there and to provide a partner that is going to meet you with the kind of love that you need and desire. Honestly, y'all, take it from somebody who knows. I've been with my partner for 16 years. We literally got together when I was 16. So for half my life. And in this relationship, the one thing I will tell you is that obviously I was very young. I didn't know the things that I know now, but I was really in my like selfish era at the time. I was not taking shit from anybody. And I definitely had like the tenacity. I had been through a pretty ugly breakup, and I was like, I'm the queen of my world. I love younger me. She really knew what she wanted and wasn't willing to settle. And the universe literally brought me the perfect person that honors me, even at this phase of my life, which I'm a totally different person from my 16-year-old self. But I have been like treated like no less than a queen. And it's because I was giving to me. I wasn't focused on bringing another person. I wasn't focused on love. I wasn't focused on being in a relationship. I was just giving unabashedly to myself. And I feel like that's the energy over these next 6 months that you're going to be calling in. It's going to make you so attractive. Like, you're already attractive. You're a hottie. You're a baddie if you're listening to my readings. But I only attract the hottest people. So you're already hot. Know that if you're here, you're already hot. But your energy is going to be like hot, hot, hot. And there's going to be somebody that you call in that honors that. Okay, we also have for you safe home. Bestie, this is so big. Over the next 6 months, you are calling a place home. Like, I don't know if you live at home, if you're somebody that maybe you've been manifesting a home, you want to move somewhere better, move somewhere different. In the next 6 months, you're actually moving somewhere that is going to feel like the best home you've ever had. Like, I'm talking like some of y'all, it's going to be your dream home. I cast the circle roundabout safety now is beyond a doubt. It's somewhere that you're going to feel so fully yourself that like all of your masks come down. And this is why you have to start telling it like it is, because here's the thing, pile number 2. In order to attract this into your life, you have to become it first. You have to start being the person that stands up for themselves, that puts themselves first, that claims their energy, that lets go of the things that are not in alignment for them in order to attract the things that are. It's just how it works. In order to feel like you embody the energy of living in your dream home and feeling bliss living there, you have to embody the energy of bliss right now. So removing the things that don't and stepping into this energy, that's what's really going to bring it to you. So some of y'all, I'm hearing it's going to be like a move, or just creating a home. Like some of y'all, it also might be home renovation if that's what you're setting your sights on right now. Just know that like your home in the next 6 months is going to change for the better. It's going to be like, even if you're in somewhere that you really love, it's going to be even better somehow. Okay. So next we have for you, oh, interesting. You need to listen to pile number 1 as well, because there's some cards that are linking y'all up a little bit. So we have the South Node, Life's Debts. And the South Node is actually in the sign of Libra right now over the next year. If you're watching this a year later, we'll be in a different transit. But South Node, Life's Debts. This is really about what is kind of falling away from you. And as we have the South Node in Libra, what's falling away from you right now, I think I'm going to have to do a Patreon video on this, to be honest, because I think people would really love these explanations, like for every zodiac sign that goes into more detail. So let me know down below if you want that, and like also join my Patreon. But the South Node, Life's Debts, this is really about, especially right now, it's shifting your partnerships. We have the South Node in Libra. It's the things that are being de-emphasized in your life, not emphasized. And so partnerships, anything that is contractually binding in any way, whether it is a soul contract, an actual marriage, you're going to notice, and you probably already have noticed if you're somebody that consumes media, there has been a huge skyrocket in divorces and partner separations because of these transits, because we're all going through it collectively. Now, there are relationships that will weather this and will really blossom during this, make some room for the nuance, no nuance, Nelly. But ultimately, there is just a huge push collectively to not be in unaligned relationships. And so this is, if you're in an unaligned relationship, you need to know that that's going to be falling out of your life. The universe is supporting the evolution of this. And if you've been feeling like there's been a lot of pressure around it, it's because the pressure needs to pop. And you're going to be put in a situation where that pressure has to pop so that you can move on in better areas of your life. Okay, we also have the sixth house of routine. Oh my goddess. Okay, so the next 6 months for you, you are going to be so focused on you because we have it with claim your energy as well. And the sixth house is the house of Virgo. It's all about getting into your routines, really feeling your energy, and just being like, what is the routine that is going to support me? And really honoring that and giving that to yourself to the fullest capacity, to your fullest capacity. So having a morning routine, a nighttime routine, it also might just be like your day-to-day, a work ethic routine. There is something about the way that you do things being recultivated. The sixth house also corresponds to domestic animals. So some of y'all also might be manifesting a dog or a cat or a snake or a hamster. For some reason, I'm seeing hamster. Some of y'all are manifesting basically a soulmate through a pet that's coming into your life that is going to be really good for your energy right now. But ultimately just think of like Virgo themes. So Virgo is organized. They are the ruler of small domestic animals. They also rule wellness. So like your wellness is really going to peak in a positive way. You're going to be taking care of your wellness. Okay, then we also have the fifth house of creativity. Okay, this is also the house of dating and relationships. But over the next 6 months, you are going to be getting hit like a freaking lightning bolt with creative juice, creative ideas, and it's literally going to change your life. Some of you, I'm also hearing, if you're into like acting or casting, you're going to be getting a really important role. That might be really specific for like one person, but there's a role upcoming that maybe you're going out for that you're going to get. You're going to land it. Your creativity is boosted right now, though. Like if you're getting creative ideas so fast that you're not even able to execute all of them because there's so many things that you want to try and do. And I honestly love this for you because when your creativity is on the rise, I honestly believe that the world needs more of that, and especially in a world like littered with AI. It's time to like let the creatives thrive. I want AI to do other things like detect illness and shit, not be taken from the creatives. So you're going to have some ideas. People aren't even going to be able to replicate what you do because it's your special sauce is going to be so important to this. And it's going to help you manifest this new home and this new love as well if you execute. It's really important that you put your energy into executing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and see next what we have from like the tarot, like Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. So, look at this. We have the 10 of Pentacles. So you're going to be making money, honey. This is not a little bit of money either. 10 of Pentacles is a shitload of money. It's a lot of money. It is money that potentially could be like generational wealth. This could be, something you need to know, pile number 2, is that in order to hold massive amounts of money, you have to make yourself comfortable. Like if you received $1 million right now, like really think about this. If you received $1 million right now, how would you feel? Like, yes, you might be overjoyed and excited and think of all the ways that you're going to improve your life. But what about after that? After you have done all the improvements, you've paid all your debts off, you've taken care of everybody you want to take care of, that might, in today's economy, that might take several million, but like, you get what I'm saying. What then? Because that is the energy that you need to start sitting in order to actually manifest all of this. Where do you want your energy to go? If you were somebody that already had all of the money, how would you behave? Who would you become? What would you look like? What would you wear? How would you talk? How would you treat people in your life? What would your bedroom look like? What would your home look like? Where would you live? There are some circumstances that you may not be able to change immediately, but your energy and how you show up in your day-to-day life, you can change. And like, that's what I'm really trying to get to. Like, think about it this way. If you're having a hard time with the concept, imagine that you walk into a Chanel store, okay? Right now, let's say you have $20 to your name. If you walk into a Chanel store, how's that going to make you feel? Probably a little uncomfortable because you know that like this is a bougie store. It's the fancy store. Maybe that's too much and you can't afford all of that. So it feels like you don't belong there. However, you do belong there. And if you had millions of dollars sitting in your bank account, you would just be calm. You'd be like, oh yeah, this is a bougie store, but like I could afford like 100 of these bags. No problem. You get what I'm saying? That's what I mean when you got to manifest that energy into your life first. And there are ways of doing it instead of waiting for the opportunity to fall in your lap and then getting blindsided by it. The sooner you become it, the sooner you feel it, the sooner you get yourself into this calm state of being with money and out of scarcity. And if I'm just going to be real with you, pile number 2, your guides, they are saying that you do have a lot of blocks around money, and it's not your fault. I need you to know that it's not your fault. It's probably a story that was given to you. You see how people in your life handle money and you don't like it, or you do like it and you think you need to replicate it in some way. You have some serious financial blocks. And that's why Spirit is asking me to talk so much about this, is in order to get to the place of not having those blocks and not being in scarcity mindset, you have to start working on those beliefs, because you're not going to get to a place where you're going to be comfortable and unafraid with money until you work on it from the foundational point first. And that's a big part of what you claiming your energy right now is. You're claiming your energy and you're changing your belief systems. Okay, we also have the Queen of Pentacles reversed, which this to me says that over the next 6 months, you're going to be reversing this. You feel like you financially are not where you want to be in your life right now. And you also feel like you are having a hard time even like caring for yourself as well as manifesting more. And Spirit is telling me that in these next 6 months, you're going to be putting like a flip it down, Uno, reverse it. Okay. You're going to be flipping this card upright, and it's going to be about you being in your wealthy girl era. Okay. Feeling wealthy, healthy, blessed beyond measure. You're going to feel really you're going to feel like a magnet, like magnetizing, pulling all the things into your life that you really desire, and like sitting in that with confidence. It's going to feel good because you're going to be ready for it. So yes, it did come out reversed, but that's because over these next 6 months, that's what you're working on. We also have the Four of Pentacles reversed. Literally, what did I just say? I just told you that you had some serious money blocks and it's holding you back. You have a lot of scarcity. And you know what's funny? Spirit is also telling me that there are people in your life that don't deal with this thing. And those people are in your life because you're supposed to learn from them. But I think oftentimes you kind of judge. Like you feel like they can have that, but not you. Like there's something about like Spirit puts people in your life to help you work through this, but you don't listen to what they say. And so like, I don't know why that's coming through so strong right now, but there's someone in your life that's done a lot of work around this, and you need to listen to them a little bit more. I'm also hearing that for some of you, it's like a book or a podcast. Like there's content available that you need to start listening to. Okay. We also have the Three of Swords, pile number 2. You're going through some kind of breakup over the next 6 months. I don't know if it's like a work breakup, a romantic breakup, a friendship breakup. There's a breakup on the horizon, and it's because the energy of this relationship, it might even be more than one. The energy of this relationship is not serving where you're going right now. And it hasn't served you for a real long time. And it's time to let go. I hate to do it to you. I hate to say it to you. I hate to be the bearer of this news. But the Three of Swords, there are very few ways to read it. It's the breakup card. It's the card that talks about a breakup. And I know that this might scare you, but please know that it might not feel good in the moment, but eventually you're going to see why not having this person in your life anymore actually benefits you. And you're going to go, dang, you're going to be mad at yourself for wasting so much time. But at first it is going to sting. It is going to hurt. It is not going to be very fun. But ultimately in the long run, it's going to be better for you. Then we also have the Lovers. So this card, it's ultimately you're going to manifest a new romantic partner or new connections that actually foster the connections that you want to have. I feel that with the Lovers card being present here, the Lovers card also talks about like shadow work and being in touch with yourself and like knowing your weaknesses and your strengths. But in a very literal sense, this is like calling in an ultimate soulmate. You have never known love the way that this person and you are going to share it. All of your past relationships are going to pale in comparison because you're finally at a place where you are learning to love your own energy and yourself more. And because of that, you're not willing to settle again. You will never settle in your life again. You are such a stronger person now. And over the next 6 months, that is what is getting a major alter. I'm actually wondering if you're going to like move in with a new partner and that's how like the safe home is going to come. Because I hate like, I feel like these messages are get so cryptic sometimes and it like irritates me because I feel like I'm a very practical person. I am very magical, but like a lot of the ways that I read tends to be more on the practical side. And so I hate it when things feel like they're like too loose. But what I'm really hearing about this, I'm just going to say it, is that you literally don't know what you can't know right now. Like right now you might be saying to yourself, no way, I'm going to stay in this dusty relationship. I'm going to work on this. Everybody is worth my time. Relationships are meant to be fought for, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes that's true. There are people that are willing to put in work and they'll tell you that I'm willing to put in the work, whatever it takes, right? I tell people that in my life. If there's somebody I want in my life, I will tell the person if we're having problems, I want you in my life and I will do what it takes. But if I don't, I'm not saying that, you know? And if they're not saying that to you, it's time to let go and move on and allow yourself the grace and the space to call in something better because you literally can't know what you don't know. And you, my friend, have not experienced a love like this. It is going to be so monumentous that you're going to be like, damn, why did I ever waste this much time? Why did I ever sit in a relationship that wasn't serving me? Why did I let myself do that? And like, you will move on from that too. You're not going to sit in that forever. But Spirit is saying like, you need to make some shifts in order to get there first. And it is going to be difficult, but ultimately it will serve you so well in the future. So that's what I have for you, at least for this part of the reading. I still have some self-care and a journal prompt for you. But first, I want to say just a quick little shameless self promo for me before we get into the rest of your cards. That if you're not following me on Patreon, I still love you, but I would really appreciate it. It helps me to make this free content here on YouTube. And I put out more pick a cards, astrology reports, masterclasses sometimes go over there. I vlog on my Patreon and it's a good time. I love my Patreon community. Y'all are so special to me. So if you would like to support me as a digital creator, I would love to have you on there. When you join, you get access to over 400 posts like the minute you join. So there's tons of content. If you would like a course or a masterclass from me also on my website, KhloeTaylor.com, as well as private readings, private readings. Why did I say it like that? Gosh, Mercury is about to be in the microwave, y'all. Private readings. You can go to KhloeTaylor.com. I have Authentically Aligned, which is my 4-week course. Really will help you with this energy up here of getting into alignment with yourself. And I also have my Vision Board to Destiny course, which is all like literally it is the foolproof method on how to manifest your dream life. I have proof in the masterclass. I talk about it. I walk you through step by step what you need to do. I swear to you, it is a method that I stand behind so hard. That's why I talk about it like this. I'm not just trying to sell you on some shit. It's that I use the method myself every time I make a vision board and my vision boards work. Okay. So if you want that, both those are available to you on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. And if you want to book me for a private reading, an astrology chart, also KhloeTaylor.com. It's the only place you can buy those. I don't go through social media for that. If you ever see that on Instagram, it's a scam. And you can also follow me on Instagram or Threads. I'm at Kloee Taylor. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the rest of your reading. So for your self-care over the next 6 months, movement is your number one priority. Okay. It doesn't have to be like working out rigorously. It can literally just be you choosing to move your body, to stretch your body, to get into an ocean or a pool or a lake, to walk up and down your driveway a handful of times, to to do yoga in-house, to go to a yoga class, a Pilates class, whatever feels good for you. Ultimately, moving your body needs to be a high priority for you right now. And lastly, the journal prompt for you. This is such a good one. What are my limiting beliefs? So if you don't want to journal, I would encourage you just to think about it right now. My limiting beliefs, if you need a jumping off point, that I've really been working on. I've been working so religiously on my limiting beliefs lately. I feel like you can tell in this reading today, my energy is like so high because I've been working on my limiting beliefs and releasing them. But I've really been working on like the things I say about my career and about y'all, like about my audience. It's so easy to be like, oh, I get so many hate comments and attach my identity to those. But instead, I see all of the love that's poured out to me now and how loving and supportive and amazing all of y'all are. And I seriously attract like the best audience. Literally, y'all are literally some of the sweetest mother effing souls. And I'm so lucky. That's something that I feel like I've had to really work on. And you don't really know how that feels unless you're somebody that puts yourself out online and in the hot seat. So that might not be super relevant to y'all, but same with like limiting beliefs around money. I have done so much limiting belief work around money. And I feel like I'm not trying to say I don't have any limiting beliefs. I just feel like I've been putting so much energy into working on it that it's hard for me to like even come up with anything that's not being presently worked on. But I would encourage you to get to the bottom of those because you change your self-concept, you will change your entire life. That is the reading I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you so much. Please do not forget when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you in the next reading, actually in the next podcast on Sunday. All right. I love you. Bye. All right. Pile number 3. If you chose the pyrite as well as the journey card and then the symbol, of course, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to start with, obviously you can tell we've got a lot of cards for you, but we're going to start with these first 3 oracle cards that the journey card, basically this is all about falling in love with the journey right now. And literally, excuse me, in my own life, just to like give this a little more context, y'all know I'm a story healer, so I'm always going to heal y'all through story. In my own life, I feel that I wish somebody would have told me how much I was going to miss my like 2018, 2019 year old self now in my today present moment, because I'm grateful for her. She like hustled and worked and made a name for herself and like did a lot of foundational work. I'm not trying to say I hated the journey, but I definitely think I was a lot more miserable back then. And I would just get like so upset when things weren't working or if I felt like I wasn't growing the way I wanted to. And now that I've achieved a lot of the things that I set out to do, like certain things have manifested in my life, be it relationships, be it my home, my dream car, like if I could go back now to that version of myself that didn't have that, that's been my like number one takeaway, is that during the journey of becoming the person you're wanting to become over these next 6 months, don't like hate yourself there. You could do it such a kinder, gentler, more loving way. And falling in love with the experience of the journey of becoming is going to like enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Life is supposed to be fun. It's a game, and let it be fun. Let it be a game. Let yourself become. That's like information I would have paid if I could have paid somebody to help me know and understand that fundamentally, I would have paid somebody for that kind of information back then. So over these next 6 months, that's going to be a big thing, is learning to love and embrace the journey that you're on, no matter what stage you're in. We also have connect with nature. Okay. So you're going to be getting a lot more in tune with nature, with possibly cyclical living, which is something that I am a huge advocate for. Cyclical living, because nature is very cyclical. We ourselves are cyclical, especially if you have a menstrual cycle, you're like more in tune with those cycles, those natural cycles. But connect with nature. Ultimately, over the next 6 months, nature is going to play a really big role in your life, whether it be for like healing or, like I said, cyclical living, maybe like something to do with nature is going to be big. And then we have goal setting. So over the next 6 months, honestly, if you're not somebody who writes your goals down, I encourage you to become somebody who writes their goals down. The amount of times I have found lists from my like 13-year-old self, I'm 33, so 20, oh my gosh, 20 years. Wow. I didn't even realize I could say that. Yeah, 20 years ago. I find lists from like my 13-year-old self and what I wanted to accomplish in my life and what I wanted and what I desired. And it's crazy when I'm able to look at those lists and I've gotten everything. And like the lists were a lot simpler back then. Like I wanted a pair of Converse and like certain items that at that time I was not able to have. The list might have been a lot simpler and they weren't as like self transformation focused as I am now, or growth mindset focused. But when you write your goals down, it is like scientifically proven that you are more likely to achieve them because you have written them down. So having goals for yourself, writing them down, setting them, it's really important to actually getting to where you want to go. And over these next 6 months, this is something that you're going to need to review. The goal setting card is also about reviewing the goals that you've written down as often as you need to. So something I also want to say about this is if you're somebody that's like really trying to get something for yourself, or, reach some kind of goal, if looking over your goals every day stresses you out because you're not there yet, don't look at them every day. Assess them maybe every other week or once per month. Put yourself on a routine of looking at them, but don't look at them every day if it forces you to like look at the reality and get stressed about what you don't have, because I think that can also be like a negative thing. It's the same way with like weighing yourself. If you're somebody that uses that as a metric, like weighing yourself every day, some people can do that and they're fine with it. Other people, it totally stifles their progress if they see the scale fluctuate. So know that like there is fluctuation in life. And if looking at your goals every day would harm you, don't do it that way. Do it in a way that would make sense for you and learn to fall in love with the journey. I also feel like with nature, we also have to consider like there are different seasons for everything. I'm hearing this song in my head that's more of an oldies, but it's the there is a season, turn, turn, turn. Gosh, who sings that song? That's such a great song. I think it's like got biblical references in it too, which that doesn't like, I don't care about that, but I think it says something about like everything under heaven. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. Gosh, somebody in the comments is going to know this song that I'm referencing, but great song. I feel like for some reason, you know what, we need to look it up because I'm going to feel bad if y'all are like, I don't know the song. And it might be a song that has like a spiritual message for you. I'm looking it up right now. It is The Birds. Is that right? Turn, turn, turn. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to, I'm getting chills just talking about it. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. That's kind of a funny line, but whatever. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to reign, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. So I don't know why this song came through your reading, but ultimately, I think when it comes to embracing the journey, you need to know that over these next 6 months, if it feels like you're in a pitfall, if it feels like something isn't working out the way you'd hoped it had, it's just part of the journey. There are going to be times where everything doesn't feel like it's working out in your favor, but I promise you that it is. And the more you learn to look at a setback as, okay, I'm just going to keep going, that is going to determine your success. So enjoy it and embrace it. All right, let's keep going. Oh my gosh. I love how you literally got the harvest card. This card says, as the waves of the ocean are infinite, as the trees in the forest grow tall, let my work not bring me to let my work now bring me to harvest. I am ready to receive my all. Dude, this, you pile number 3, you are going to be reaping some serious rewards in the next 6 months. You are coming out on top. You are going to be setting targets and hitting the mark. Like, it is your season of winning. And I know this because look at this next card. You have the card of victory. I shall celebrate. I shall rise. I will let victory make me wise. So the next 6 months, you're going to be getting your bag. Okay. You're getting your bag. You are getting your, you are getting your bread. You are getting what you are getting your stars. Okay. It's your turn. It's finally your turn. That's probably why that song came up. Every season, turn, turn, turn. I know it's saying something different in the song, but literally I'm hearing it's finally your turn. And especially if you're somebody that when you see people in your life that have the things that you want, you don't go, oh, why not me? You go, oh my gosh, it's going to be me next. Thank you so much for showing me in my reality what is coming for me. When you can tap into that energy, the universe says, oh, you like this? Let me give you more of this. Let me give this to you too. And I do this all the time in my life. Literally, it's part of how I manifested the house that I live in. I used to go on Instagram and I used to get really sad when I would see home decor and people living in their dream homes in the middle of a housing crisis. And then I started to change my energy around it. And I would literally say out loud, universe, thank you for showing me the future that I'm going to have. Thank you for showing me that it's my turn next. Thank you for showing me that I'm next, me next, me next, me next. And then literally not even 6 weeks later, I manifested a waterfront home and from nothing, literally I had almost $0 to my name and I was able to come up with the finances I needed to move. And the rent was really reasonable. And I love this house. So much magic in this house. My point is you're coming into a season of harvest. And also something spirit is telling me to remind you is when you're in that energy of me next, my turn, when you hit this and you have your victory and you're getting your stars, it's like you want people to celebrate you. You don't want people to look at you and go, ugh, when is it going to be my turn? Why do they get to have that? So think about how you would want to be held and celebrated when it's your turn, because it is. So just some food for thought. Okay. All right. Next we have for you the card of Venus love. So you're getting in your pretty girl era. Okay. Venus love. This to me is Aphrodite energy, beauty magic, beauty rituals, skincare rituals, makeup rituals, anything that gets you feeling good. I don't think you need to wear makeup to feel good or to be hot, but if that's what you like to do, I feel like this is going to be you really upgrading that. I'm also hearing that your hair, especially with these two, their hair is very prominent. This one in particular, your hair is going to be shining, which makes sense too, especially if you're listening to this as it's current, because we're in Leo season and Leo rules the mane, or the lion's mane hair. So your hair is going to be growing faster, silky, soft. I'm seeing shiny hair. I'm literally getting a visual of Herbal Essence commercials from the freaking 90s. Yes, your hair is going to be so gorgeous. And with Venus love, and also, I just want to say, Spirit is reminding me that there may be some people listening here that you don't have hair for medical reasons. I also want to say that even no matter how that manifests, even if it's in finding a wig match for yourself or something, that's going to be the shining thing. And I'm not saying that you even need hair to be beautiful. If you prefer to be bald, that's awesome. But for those of you that are wanting healthy, beautiful, long, luxurious hair, I see that for you. And Venus love, I also feel that some of y'all are actually really manifesting love. You're manifesting, and not just romantic love, but love from your friends, love from your family, love from the people that genuinely want to see you win. You're going to be really surrounded in love. Then we have Gemini, I think. So Spirit is also saying that you're going to be having some amazing ideas over the next 6 months. Your conversations are going to go really well. You might even receive some opportunities through conversation that are important. Because Gemini, I think Gemini is our communicator sign. So when I see this, I think about like having conversation, communication, things that need to be said or need to be spoken, or like magic being spoken over you. I would also encourage, with magic being spoken over you, really get clear on what affirmations you want to perpetuate in your life right now over these next 6 months, because they're going to transform your life. So if you notice that you have a story that you tell yourself that you don't want to be true, I encourage you to start changing it. Like, what I'm trying to think of like a good example to give you. All my examples are like so things that probably don't apply to most people, because I assume most people don't come to me that are creatives. Maybe you are though. Maybe that's one, instead of me. Okay, there's one right there. Instead of me saying most people that watch my content aren't content creators themselves, if I wanted to change that, I would instead say to myself, oh my gosh, I attract so many content creators to my content. So many content creators love the messages that I spread. So many content creators need my spiritual messaging. Like, that's what I'm saying is, if there's something that you feel like makes you uncomfortable, or you don't believe it, or you have a lot of self-doubt, start to change the way that you speak about it, because the way that you speak, it's called spelling because you're casting spells over yourself. Okay. You need to start speaking your goals, your life, your love, your luster, your victory into being. Then we also have the Yod card, and Yods are a really big deal. They're actually really hard to read in astrology. Like, you have to be a very skilled astrologer in order to understand this and the implications of it. I myself don't even read Yods, and I think I'm a pretty skilled astrologer, but they're very it's about 2 points basically coming to another like really sharp point in the sky. All astrology is just math. And it's like basically a promise that you make. They call the Yod the finger of God, like the finger of God making a really significant aspect in your chart and like pointing you towards a destiny or a promise or a commitment in your life. And in my experience, they're relatively rare. I've not read a ton of charts that have them. They're relatively rare, but the point is, even if you have a Yod or you don't in your birth chart, that it doesn't matter, semantics. The point is that these next 6 months are moving your destiny forward. You are following your North Star. And the more that you consciously do that, the better the results of your harvest and your victory are going to be. Things that you have set out to achieve in your life, you're going to start seeing them being achieved. Okay, now we're going to look at some of the tarot cards that I have for you, which these are oracle cards, but we have tarot cards too. And if you don't mind, I'm going to have a little sip of my decaf coffee here with you before it gets cold. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I put pumpkin spice in my coffee because if y'all didn't know, this is such a side tangent. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and fall starts coming in at like the end of July. Like, some of the leaves are already changing. The weather here is extremely temperate, and like it gradually gets cooler and cooler and cooler until we hit the fall months. So it's kind of crazy. I feel like I sometimes live in the eternal autumn. Like, we get such a long extended autumn here, and it's fantastic. But I feel like I'm really in my pumpkin spice era right now, and it's only July. Anyways, okay, so 10 of Wands we have for you first. So with this 10 of Wands, over the next 6 months, I do feel like you have a lot of moving parts, okay? There's a lot of things and intention and moving forward. You're taking on a lot of projects. And I don't think I'm really getting the energy of like, yes, ask for support. Make sure that you are like having a routine that supports you foundationally so you can do this work. But I honestly think you are so dedicated to your future right now. I don't see this 10 of Wands as a negative thing. Normally, I would say you're taking on too much, simmer down a little bit. I don't think so. You are definitely like balls to the wall. You are going as fast as you can. That's why they call you Mr. Fahrenheit, okay? Supersonic speed. Ready to reload, okay? You are moving really quickly and doing a lot over the next 6 months that is taking on a lot. So just make sure that as you're doing this, you don't want to hit a burnout point. So this is why you need to make sure that your foundations are really solid, because that's what's going to support you through this really busy season. Then we have the Five of Wands. I hate to see it, bestie. I hate to see a Five of Wands, because the Five of Wands is like chaos for no good reason. It's chaos. It's like people in your life giving you bullcrap for no reason, saying stupid things to you and starting fights for no reason. I literally call the Five of Wands the dick measuring card, because that's what it feels like. It's like you're just sitting out comparing dicks for no reason. You're not getting anything out of the conversations. They're not growing you. They're not changing you. They're not healing anything. They're useless, pointless, and they're meaningless arguments. And so I do feel that Spirit is saying, please remember to connect back to nature when these things come up in the next 6 months, because they're going to show you the people that are good to keep in your life and the people that aren't. And you're going to get really clear on the kind of love that you deserve. And your peace is going to be reestablished in nature. So make sure that you have like a good grounding practice. You're connecting with nature. You're giving gratitude to nature, and you're letting your life go cyclically, like living more cyclically, intentionally. We also have the Nine of Swords reversed. And I love this card because upright, it's like a lot of anxiety, but in the reverse, to me, this is like the reduction of anxiety. And I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not diagnosing anybody. Please keep that in mind. Always seek a mental health professional if that's something that you feel like you need or require. But the Nine of Swords to me is like less anxiety. Things are calming down. You're not feeling so mentally overwhelmed all the time. And I see this as a benefit. Over the next 6 months, you're going to see how your nervous system is becoming more regulated. You're feeling a lot better in your body. You're feeling better in your presence, in just the way that you even think about things is different. Okay, we also have the Queen of Swords reversed. And I do feel like this comes as more of a warning over the next 6 months to really be careful with your energy, okay? Because you are doing really amazing things. And when people start to see you getting your success, you need to be careful about who you let into your sphere. I myself have been through this. My goddess gracious. I did gaming before I did spirituality. If y'all didn't know, the channel is still out there. It's called Coffee, Koffee. And you have to search like Coffee Sims to get it to come up, because there's a music artist that tops the charts with that name now. But in any case, you can look at like all of my old gaming history. I was a gamer for like 7 years professionally. But there was a point in that career where I got extremely popular. I was made like a Twitch partner. I got flown around the world for like different gaming events. I went to London on a gaming event, like paid for by another company. I had like a lot of really cool opportunities, and I didn't realize what a big star player I was, because to me, I was so humble. I didn't see myself that way. I still kind of don't. I didn't see myself as like important or a big part of the community. To me, I was just this girl in her house making these little videos. I didn't see it seriously. And there were so many people at that time that I didn't realize that they just wanted what my popularity could give to them. And there were some people that were genuinely my friends that I'm still friends with, or people I still talk to. But there were a lot of people that literally just wanted what I could offer them. And I think about it now sometimes, and I try to just like give those people grace. But I'm not going to lie, I still hold a little bit of a grudge for a couple of them, because it really hurt. I was somebody that like just wanted to have friendship and thought that I was getting that, but I was being used completely. And the reason I bring this up with you is you need to have rock solid boundaries and remember the people that didn't hold you when you were down. Remember the people that didn't show up when you were feeling low, because sometimes those people will come around when you start to get better and start to have success, because they want to leech off that energy. And don't let them. Stick to the people that were there for the entire journey. Or if you meet new people, which like that's okay too. If you meet new people, just remember like just make sure that it's like rooted in something solid, not in something where it's all a take relationship. Because the Queen of Swords tells me that there's a disruption to your boundaries. So I feel like this comes as more of a warning of like, make sure you have your boundaries. And like, I'm not saying build a wall and don't let anybody in. A boundary and a wall are two very different things. So just be mindful. Then we also have the Knight of Swords reversed. I honestly think in the next 6 months, you're going to have a lot of ideas that you've been executing. And so, like I said, there is a lot of energy there with that 10 of Wands. But I do feel like there's going to come a time where you're going to be kind of out of ideas for a little bit. And Spirit is saying this is when you need to make sure you're relying on that connection with nature. This is where you need to review those goals. This is where you need to remember to enjoy the journey. Because these 3 cards here are going to support moving past any pitfalls that you might come across. And I still have some cards of self-care and like a journal prompt for you. But before we get into that, I just want to take a moment to give myself a little shameless self promo. If you don't follow me on Patreon, I still love you. I still appreciate you. But if you join, you get access to astrology content, themes of the month, extra pick of cards. You also get access to vlogs and like I have a series on there that's like a mentorship type thing where I also mentor you in content creation if you have questions. So there's like a lot of stuff on my Patreon. Over 400 posts. If you join, you get access to all of them right away. And it's a really great place to support me as a creator. AdSense, for the most part, doesn't pay crap unless you're getting like hundreds of thousands of views, which could happen for me at any time. But when it's not, AdSense doesn't really pay crap. And Patreon is really the best way to support me. So if you want to support me in that way, get some content for yourself, I would love to have you there. I also have a course and a masterclass and private readings available on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. Honestly, the Authentically Aligned course is good for like every single pile today. It's all about evaluating your life, getting back on track with yourself, taking care of yourself in a 4-week program. And then I also have a masterclass on your vision board to destiny. Y'all, this is the foolproof way to do a vision board and actually see results. I have used this in my own life numerous times. The proof is in the pudding. I walk you through all the ways in which you sabotage yourself and how to actually make it work. I literally live and breathe by this stuff. So that's why I'm so adamant about how I talk about it, because it's something I just believe so wholeheartedly in and I've seen it work. So check those out. And if you'd like to book me for a private reading, a birth chart reading, anything like that, I have readings available on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. If you want to follow me around the web, I'm at Kloee Taylor on Instagram and Threads. And if you ever see somebody offering to like do a reading for you in your DMs, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. You can only book through my website, KhloeTaylor.com. I will never come to you directly. I don't have a backup account either. All right, so let's get on with your reading. So for your self-care over these next 6 months, we have spend time with animals. You are really into like your nature animal loving era, okay? So this could be spending time with like an animal you have, but it could also be spending time in nature and like noticing little critters, noticing little squirrels, especially as we start to embark into the autumn time. Noticing squirrels, noticing wild animals. Where I live, I have like a ton of deer. There's deer in my yard every so often that I think is really cool. And squirrels, actually. The squirrels should be coming out again soon. I can't wait. I have a little squirrel friend that comes to my house every year and I love him. But getting in touch with animals is going to be really healing for your spirit right now. So that's like your self-care, getting in touch with animals, maybe even volunteering at like an animal shelter if you feel like you really want to get involved. And then your journal prompt for this reading, we have, how can I love myself more? So if you don't want to journal about it, I would also encourage you to just like stop here for a second and think about it. For myself, how can I love myself more? If I could give you some examples, I could love myself more by doing more self-care nights that are intentional. I do Sunday self-care every single week where I do like an everything shower. I do all my lotions and potions. I put my favorite PJs on. Like I do the most on Sundays. But I also feel like just intermittently throughout my week, I'm such a growth mindset, goal-focused person that I often forget that sometimes I just need to let myself like watch silly TV or like just chill, instead of always being focused on like mindset work, mindset work, mindset work. Even though I really believe in it and I stand on it, it's just like, I feel like loving myself more would mean letting myself relax more into the moment. And also, I'm with you, pile number 3. I think spending more time in nature would allow me to love myself a little bit more. I'm pretty in love with myself though. I won't lie to you about that. I am pretty in love with myself. And I think that's everything I got for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love and appreciate you so much. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you on Sunday for a podcast. Bye. All right, pile number 4. If you chose this symbol as well as the honey calcite, I don't know why it doesn't want to focus. Focus on me. There we go. As well as the honey calcite, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to start with these first few oracle cards, and then we have obviously a ton more cards for you, but we're starting out with these oracle cards first. So first and foremost, we have multiple streams. So for the next 6 months, you are going to be focusing on multiple streams to create the vision for your life. So this could be multiple streams of income, multiple practices, multiple routines. Something to note about the multiple streams card is that think of it very literally in how to create a river or a lake or a body of water. There is multiple streams that attach to that allow it to grow to such size. So it's not even just like multiple streams of income to create more wealth, which is like a very common way of using it, but it's also creating multiple foundations, multiple routines, multiple ways of being in order to create your dream life. Pile number 4, I think your reading might be like the most important one out of all the ones I've done today, because you are fully stepping into this really, really aligned version of your life. We have update your system. So this is all about updating your thoughts, your words, your actions, your mindset, your self-concept. If you are ready to like fully upgrade your life and glow up and become like a brand new bitch, it reminds me of that song. I think Cobra sings it. I think it's called Brand New Bitch. Listen to it. It's a vibe. But it's just like you are ready to literally become a brand new person in the next 6 months. You're going to be like night and day different. And then we also have manifesting magic, which this is about literally setting intention and manifesting that which you desire to come true. So you are going through an insane transformation over the next 6 months. You are going to be like just in a completely new paradigm. And the reason why is that you're not just doing things from the physical level. You're not asking yourself like, oh, let's say, for example, you want to lose 50 pounds. I'm just going to use this as an example because it makes it easier to understand. Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. You're not going to just like, oh, let me get new outfits. Let me get workout equipment. Let me buy protein powder and make a schedule to work out. Those are good things to do, of course, but you are taking the opposite approach in the sense that you are spiritually aligning yourself with the outcome of having lost weight. Like I said, you might not be on a weight loss journey, but just stick with me for the example. You are like visualizing yourself 50 pounds lighter. You are seeing yourself, imagining who you will be embodied as this version of yourself that looks, feels, breathes, and acts differently. And because of that, you have shifted your self-concept so hard that all the actions and deeds and things that you do, it's like a trickle-down effect. It's easy to take action because you already believe you are the kind of person that weighs 50 pounds less. It's like you create it in your reality first so that what you desire manifests into reality. And it's like you basically do a paradigm flip where most people will hit it from, let me, like I said, buy the workout clothes, let me join a gym, let me do all these very practical environment things. When instead, if you hit it from the subconscious level of envisioning, practicing who you are being, and also intentionally seeing that in your life, it's going to all trickle back in the other direction. The actions will be easier, and eventually your environment and your body and yourself are going to reflect it back to you. That's the energy that you're moving into. You're upgrading your mindset. And because of that, everything manifests to you so much faster. And you're making multiple, like, you are feeling so supported by who you are becoming because of that. Like the universe is supporting you, your friends, your family, your career, your finances, everything starts to line up to help you become this version of yourself that you're becoming. So next we have Dream Sweet Sleep Deep, which says sleep that's deep and lasts till morn, wondrous dreams for days reborn. So it's funny, pile number 1 also had a card about better sleep hygiene. And this is just about right now and for the next 6 months, you are really receiving like activations through your sleep. Like genuinely, if you want to upgrade your system, your like body, your physical self, your mind, your unconscious mind, spirit is saying you need to be like listening to subliminals or listening to affirmations or frequency music when you're going to sleep. Use your sleep time to help you reprogram your subconscious. This shit works, okay? I have used this in my own life, especially for like money. I've put on like money affirmations on a low setting when I go to sleep. I swear to you, I wake up richer every time. Use that sleep time to actually work on this because it'll make it easy for you. And then we also have organization, purpose, planning, efficiency now come to me so easily. So in your dreams, you're going to be getting such an upgrade for your life that organizing your day-to-day life is going to become easy. You're not going to be stressed out the way you've been stressing is what I'm hearing. And your plans are like, you basically revolve your plans around your intuition. And because of that, things work extremely well for you. You are organizing your life in such a way that everything you do supports the all of who you are. And this is like, so like, you're going to be literally blissed out in 6 months. Okay. We also have for you the 9th house of faith. This is another reason that I know without a shadow of a doubt that you are like spiritually upgrading is because the 9th house is the house of Sagittarius. And I know most people think of like spiritual signs, they think of Scorpio or Pisces, but I am here to argue that Sagittarius also sits with them because Sagittarius, though they are more on the terms of like academics and logical thinking, philosophically thinking, they also want to take things all the way up into like understanding the unconscious. They are very like, it's almost like to me, Sagittarius does logic and spirituality and bridges the gap. So extremely spiritual. I feel like you are taking like a spiritual path to changing your life. You're like finally betting on yourself. Pile number 4. I feel like for a long time, you've always been like, no, that works for them, but never me. I could never have all of that. I could never do all of that. I could never manifest my life like that. I don't have the tools or the knowledge or the wherewithal, and it works for them, but not me. Not anymore. You are finally betting on yourself, and you are finally saying, you know what? I'm just going to try. I'm just going to try to do my life from this angle instead of trying to change my environment all the time and just see what happens. And you start to see that it actually works. Then we have Uranus Genius. I love this card because so many of us try to force an outcome, right? We'll try to force situations. We're all guilty of this. It's not just you. We try to force situations. We try to force outcomes. We try to make things happen. And there's nothing wrong with this. Like, you know, it's a very like masculine way of doing things, but there's not necessarily anything wrong with it because sometimes it garners results, right? We can garner results from putting in action. However, oftentimes we do things from such a resisted place because we don't even realize that it's resistance. When you actually tap into your genius, which everybody has something that like flows through them easily. And I'm not saying that it's like a talent that you were born with. It could be something that you've obtained in this lifetime, but there is something that when you sit down and you talk about it or you speak about it or you craft it with your hands or whatever it is, it puts you in your genius. And this is something that I want to say it's Gay Hendricks is the one who wrote The Big Leap. Good read if you feel like you need a book on manifestation. But he talks about being in your genius zone and how when you're living your genius, it's like living your purpose because it feels easy, but also you love doing it. And it's the path of least resistance. So Spirit is saying that what you're doing is you're actually starting to tap into your genius. Over the next 6 months, your life is going to become insurmountably easier because you're not doing things from a resisted place. You are doing things from a very aligned place. And then we have earth element of stability. Oh, I don't know why this makes me want to cry. It's just kind of like got me in my feelings a little bit. Because sometimes when you like, probably because I myself have experienced this. And so like, I love this for you and I resonate with you. But sometimes also spiritually, like messages come through so strong that they're overwhelming like that. But you've tried to build for yourself something numerous times. And it's not that it's never worked. I think you've had like some successes, but it's never really felt like it has created or generated stability for you. And you are finally open and ready to have the stability that it takes to get to the place that you're trying to go. And that was the missing key. That was like the key to the lock that you had been missing, was making sure that you're tapping into your genius. And everything is just going to start to really click into place over the next 6 months. And you're going to have this stable income, stable magic, stable. I'm also hearing like, please know I'm not a mental health professional and do not ever use my readings as a replacement for that. But I am hearing like mental stability, being like happiness is more of your baseline, joy is your baseline, awe as your baseline. I'm really getting the energy of like bliss from this reading. You're going to be feeling very blissed out. And like life is going to make sense and feel good. And you're going to be at awe, like in awe at seeing it and being in it and getting to have the experience. Okay. Then we have the card of the universe in reverse. And ultimately, I see this as more of like, you have really tried bending the universe to your will, and you're finally at a place where you're not willing to do it anymore because it didn't garner you the results that you had wanted. You are ready to be bent to the universe's will instead. And I'm not saying that you're like a servant to the universe unless that's what you're into. My point is like you co-create your reality with the universe. And oftentimes you try to brute force your way through everything and you forget that there is magic that exists around you that is there to support you at all hours and every minute of the day. And you're finally ready to be open. You have surrendered. You are open and ready to do that co-creation. You're no longer doubting that there is a force behind you helping you. And over the next 6 months, that is going to be like your faith is increasing. So then we have Two of Wands. This is going to put you dreaming bigger than you ever have. So oftentimes, to like give you perspective on this card, if I ask somebody what they want out of life, so often there are so many people that I've asked that question to and they don't know. They will tell me like, I've never thought about it. I don't know. And you might be somebody that knows, but my point is, if you're somebody that doesn't know, there is no time like the present to get real clear. But also, don't dream small. Ask yourself the right questions. Ask yourself if you had infinite amount of support financially, emotionally, all of your needs were going to be met. Your life was going to be paid for the rest of your life from right now moving forward. Journal on this. What would you spend your time doing? And like, I'm here to tell you, if you think it's lay in a hammock and read all day, you're wrong. You will do that for probably like several months as you like regulate your nervous system and chill. But eventually you're going to feel like there's a spark that's missing. And this is why like people that retire really early, they come out of retirement within 2 years. It's like statistically proven. They come out of retirement within 2 years because they realize that they're bored and they have more passion and purpose to give. And that's what I mean when I'm like, you need to think bigger. Think bigger. It's not just about having your financial needs met. It's not just getting out of scarcity. What would you do if it all worked out and you were able to completely take care of yourself? Where would you put your energy? Who would you help? What do you think the world needs more of? And something else that you need to hear that the universe is asking me to tell you is that money is an amplifier. You don't get money and then become a bad person. You have to already be the kind of person that is not a nice person, because money will just amplify that in you. If you are already a kind-hearted, generous, loving person, that's going to be amplified when you have money. And you need to keep that in mind. I feel like that might be a limiting belief that you're carrying. But the Two of Wands is here to remind you to dream bigger. And not just a shameless self-promo, but I will talk to you more about it later. My masterclass, Vision Board to Destiny, it's not just a masterclass on vision boarding. There's a workbook that comes with that class that it like goes over these kinds of questions in detail. If you feel like you're lacking clarity and not dreaming big enough, that workbook will make you dream bigger. And it's like foolproof method. So check that out. It's on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. You would benefit from that if you feel like you're somebody that doesn't dream big enough. Okay. Next we have the Empress. So some of y'all, you're getting pregnant. Okay. Obviously, if you're not trying to get pregnant right now, this isn't meant to freak you out. It could be that you're birthing a new creation into being, as in like something that you've made. It doesn't have to be a literal human. But those of you that are wanting pregnancy, I really feel in the next 6 months, your body is going to be fully ready for it. And use these 6 months to create the life that you want to create for that child. Or if there's a creative project that you are wanting to bring into this world, use the next 6 months to create the landscape that would support that, sustaining you. Because Empress energy is all about getting into your receptive mode, your creative mode, your receptive mode, and living life through the senses, the physical senses. And Spirit is ultimately saying that this is a time in your life that this is coming. Come hell or high water. So right now in these 6 months, you are laying the foundation for that to be available to you. So this could be actually working on your physical body to carry a child, or it could be working on your business and setting it up in such a way that it is going to support you once you finally put it out there, right? Doing the labor, doing the work, carrying this from conception through gestation to giving birth to this thing. That is Empress energy. Okay, then we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed. So the Nine of Pentacles is usually about having money that supports you. Like you can have your cake and eat it too, basically, which you can. But seeing it reversed, I do feel like there is a little bit of limiting belief work that you need to work through. Like, oh, there's such a great example that I have for you on this. So you might be someone that's like, oh, I don't need a designer bag. I just want like a little cottage and a garden. Hear me out, bestie. Why not both? I'm not saying you need to desire a designer bag. That's fine if that's not what you're into. But maybe it's like, oh, I don't need $1 million. I just want my paints and my plants and my cottage and my dog. Okay. And that will be enough for me. Why can't you have $1 million and a cottage? Why can't it be both? There is this either or black and white thinking that I feel like the world often perpetuates, especially for women. I feel like women are constantly taught that they have to choose. You don't have to choose. You can have both. You can decide that you want both. You can have a simple life, but still luxuriate. You don't have to choose. There is no choice to be made. You are worthy of it all. And the Nine of Pentacles reversed is asking you to question that. Question why you feel like you need to live so small and insignificantly. Why do you feel like you need to be insignificant? You are significant. The fact that you live and breathe and get to be here on this planet, rippling and impacting other people's lives on a small scale or possibly a big scale, that is a miracle. And you are important. It's not to say that you need to step into like a God complex and be like, no, I'm so important. I'm more important than anybody else. I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that. I said that you are significant. You are worth whatever you feel like you want to have in this lifetime, and you don't have to choose. We also have for you the Emperor. Girl, it is time to become your own boss. It's time to become your own boss. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to stop playing small. I think the number one thing that got me into entrepreneurship, besides the fact that I was raised by an entrepreneur, so that definitely gave me a leg up and some privilege there. Like witnessing it in my own family was really helpful. But something else that really shifted my perspective was when you work for someone else, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. I'm not trying to shade that. Like 9 to 5s are fantastic if that works for you. It doesn't work for me. But if you've been considering, something I would ask you to ponder is, do you want somebody else to set your limitations? And that's how I have always known that I preferred entrepreneurship. I would take the risk and the chaos of entrepreneurship every day for the rest of my life if it meant that I had the freedom of time and also the freedom to set my own wage, because nobody else is going to tell Kloee Taylor how much money she can and cannot make. I'm a Taurus. We don't work like that. My entrepreneur father is also a Taurus and a Sag rising. In fact, we both have that in common. You are never going to be able to tell us what we are capable of getting in this lifetime. And so when I see the Emperor, though, this is the entrepreneur card. It's the boss card. It's the make your own goals, make your own sugar, be your own sugar daddy. Okay. Some of y'all also might be just trying to manifest a provider that is an Emperor into your life. And if that's what you're looking for, like the fact that you got the Emperor and the Empress in your reading together, to me says that you're also looking for possibly partnership. You're either looking to be the Empress or the Emperor, and you're looking for that counterpart. And ultimately, Spirit is saying within the next 6 months, if you put this intentional work in, you're going to receive that. You're going to have the right partner with you. But also, you can embody both of these qualities. You can embody being your own boss, but doing things in a way that supports you and like gives you stability. So yeah, I love that. All right. So before we get into your self-care and your journal prompt, which are the next few cards that I have, I do want to do a little shameless self promo for myself. Because I do this work for free on the internet. Okay. And I need to eat. So my Patreon, if you're not following it, I still love you. I still support you. I still think you're fabulous, but I definitely would love to have you on Patreon. I do astrology reports. I do vlogs over there. I do masterclasses sometimes. There's over 400 posts there that if you join, you get access to them immediately. It's a fantastic way to support me as a creator if you have the means to do so. I would love to have you as a patron. It would mean the world to me. And then I also have my course, my masterclass, and private readings available on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. I have Authentically Aligned, which is a 4-week program that walks you through how to like reestablish your life, like basically look at your life, see what's working, what's not working, and put yourself back in the mindset that is going to get you moving forward in the way you want to move. And especially for like, I feel like that one could work for you too. But then my masterclass with, it's called Vision Board to Destiny. That is the one that like, it comes with the workbook that helps you dream bigger, but also shows you step by step how to make a vision board that will work for you. Like I kid you not, every vision board that I make, every single thing comes true every single time. And it always works for me. And I give you all the foolproof methods to make it work for you too. I believe in this stuff so wholeheartedly because I have seen it work over and over and over again. And I have proof in the masterclass that I go over. So definitely check that out if you feel like you need it. And then of course you can book a birth chart or a private reading through me on KhloeTaylor.com. It's the only place you can book. I do not offer them on social media. If you ever see somebody slide into your DMs asking about readings, it's a scam. They are pretending to be me. Never fall for that. I am Kloee at Kloee Taylor, and I have the blue check mark on Instagram. I don't use TikTok. I don't use Twitter. So if you catch me on there, it's not me. But I'm at Kloee Taylor on Instagram and Threads if you want to follow me, and I would love to have you. So anyways, now that I'm done with my little spiel, thank you so much for helping me to get my bag and my bread, listening to that. But let's go ahead and talk about your self-care for the next 6 months and what is going to be most important. We have the card of family. So this could be actually spending time with family if you're close with them. If you're not, or you feel like you're estranged, I always want to make room for you, boo, as an estranged person from my own family myself. Family is anybody you choose. It is people that feel like family. and having that sacred connection with someone else. This also might be about like planning for your family, especially with that Empress and Emperor card. If you're wanting to grow your family the next 6 months, that needs to be a big part of your focus, and like giving yourself the care so that you can have that. But ultimately, family time is going to be really important. So I also want to say, if you're with a significant other, that also is your family. Like, families do not have to consist of children and animals too. Your family can just be you and your partner. So family, spending more time with them. And then your journal prompt, my love, for this reading is, do I have any regrets? Ooh, Chile. Do you have any regrets? You know, that's such a, I always like to talk to y'all about it a little bit. If you don't want to journal on it, you can just think about it right now. But like, I genuinely am someone that tries to live without regrets, because I think it's such a waste of time to regret something that you literally didn't know what you didn't know, and you can't go back and change it. But I do think that, like, I don't even want to say it's a regret, but it's just something to notice. And I notice it within myself. When I think about if I had never moved away from my hometown, sometimes I get really sad because I recognize that some of the familial relationships I wish I had, or that like could have stayed stronger, or like I could have had holidays more with my family, or like more of the mundane day-to-day stuff. I don't want to say I regret it, because I'm such a different person than like every member of my family in a good way. Not to say that they're terrible, but like I'm like an anomaly in my family. I'm such a different person. I live my life so differently from any other person that I associate with. But I see that other life sometimes when I like think about it, and I get a little sad, and I think that's okay. Like, sometimes you choose a course in life and you can still see that the other path could have been different and you would have turned out differently. And it can be like a thing that you have to grieve. But I don't want to say that I regret that though, because I don't. I live such a magical life. And I think a lot of moving away from my hometown gave that to me. I became the person I became outside of the confines of my everyday familial relationships. And I'm like the healer in my family, and I love that for me. But I mean, it comes with its challenges for sure. You're also the person that feels all of the family trauma that everybody else refuses to feel. But you know, I wouldn't regret it. I wouldn't change it. So I don't know. I don't want to even say that it's like a regret, but I just see the other path sometimes, and I have to make space to like mourn that every so often. But anyways, I'd be curious if you feel like sharing, if you feel brave, any regrets you might have, and if there's a way that you could walk yourself through that to learn to integrate and accept that. Anyways, that is the reading that I have for you, pile number 4. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I love you. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you on Sunday for another podcast. And then I believe next Thursday again for another pick a card. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have this consistency thing that I've been working on where I post every Sunday and every Thursday. So anyways, I love you. Bye.